Hello guys, welcome back to the Free Hammers podcast live. It's me and Paul this week, and we're going to be going through everything West Ham related and any news that we like to cover through sports. If you've got any questions throughout the show, put them in the live chat and we'll try our best to answer them. If you've not subscribed already, please hit the subscribe button, hit the like button if you like our content, and please share with your friends. Let's get on with it. It's the Free Hammers and it's live.
Hello, mate. There we go. We've got all the special graphics back, mate. StreamYard reduced their prices, mate. So I thought, do you know what? We'll come back with a few graphics again. Can I start the show by saying big thank you to Gonzo for inviting me on the other day. I can't believe, mate, we got 170 subscribers in a day just off the back of that show. And a massive thank you. It took so long to bloody get to 3,000. We were sitting there waiting for like 50 for so long, weren't we? And then, yeah, if you are new and, if you're joining us for the first time, this is Paul. I'll let Paul just quickly introduce himself. If you've never seen him before, new subscriber. He's not very well. So
I'm very ill today, so I'm not going to have too much energy. Sorry about that. You can probably see I don't look all that. But yeah, hello. And again, as Luke says, yeah, brilliant to have new subscribers and new people joining us on the channel. We hope you like it.
Yeah, definitely. We're not going to go massive show purely because Paul, like I say, he's not feeling too well. But we will discuss a few things, mate. So one of the first things I want to start with before the Aston Villa game is crowds are allowed back in now. It looks like we're going to be allowed about 2,000, and we actually look like we're going to be the first game, actually, the Man United game. What do you make of that, mate? 2,000 in a 60,000 seat stadium.
It's going to be weird, isn't it? I don't know. Obviously, they can't put them all in one section. They have to spread them all out because of social distancing and all that. It's going to be weird, isn't it? Like you say, 2,000 in a 60,000 seat stadium, but it's a start, and it's good to start getting the fans back. I think it's the last thing that Sullivan will want is fans back in the stadium. But from a fan perspective, and obviously from the players' perspective as well, brilliant to see fans start coming back into the stadium.
Is it something you would go, mate? Like what I'm towards you here is wearing a mask for 90 minutes.
No, I wouldn't go. I don't really see the point. I wouldn't, like, if you're going to watch the game live, a big part of that is the atmosphere and the crowd and all the rest of it. And with just 2,000 people spread out in the stadium, you're not going to get that. You might as well be watching it at home. So no, it wouldn't be for me. It's a start. Isn't it?
Yeah,
it wouldn't be for me, but like you say, it's a start, mate.
Yeah, it's just see how they steward it. If we do score against Man United and all of a sudden, actually, you can't sing, but you can run around the whole stadium being chased by the steward. Irish Tommy says apparently they won't even be able to chant a shout. Like I say, let's see what happens when we score a last-minute winner against Manchester United in a couple of weeks' time. Evening, Nick. Evening to anyone who's joined us. Like I say, right. So just touching on that. Like I say,
evening.
So, yeah, 1 o'clock, from Australia, I think, mate.
Oh, there you go.
I think from Australia. Yeah. So Aston Villa versus West Ham. West Ham, obviously, we are the home team. I'm just going to quickly run through some stats for you. Last season, it was 1-0, and that was only back in July. Grealish 84th, and if you remember, Yarmolenko scored a really quick equaliser in that game on the 85th. Looking at their players, obviously Watkins on 8, Grealish 5, Barkley 2. They've played 8, won 5, lost 3. Reasonably good form. 7th with 15 points. And last time we beat them, mate, was West Ham 2-0. Antonio on the 58th, Kouyaté on the 85th, back in 2016. Villa, mate, what do you like about Villa? I've discussed it a little bit with Gonzo, but I think those 3 players that are flashed up there, Watkins, Grealish and Barkley, mate.
Sorry, mate, you're cutting out quite a lot there. I keep missing bits.
Sorry. I said, who do you like, mate, from Villa? I said Watkins, Grealish, Barkley.
Yeah, all of them. They've been a real sort of up and down team this season. They've had some fantastic results, and then they've had some really bad results against teams you'd expect them to beat. So probably not too dissimilar to us, to be honest with you. I think they're a point ahead of us in the league. So
yeah, it's a massive game, mate. Tomorrow, if we do win that game, I'll put it out there, mate, just as a laugh. Can we start thinking about this, mate?
No.
I just living in a bit of a dream world. But we will be fifth if results go our way today. We're not a typical West Ham. We can go fifth, which is. Mate,
I mean, that's the thing, mate. You said it there, like typical West Ham. Whenever we get the opportunity to move into those positions, to European positions, we always mess it up. Always. So, can we break the habit of a lifetime? I don't know. We'll see. It'll be a tough game.
It will, mate. Who can hurt us for them, mate? Like you say, I think Jack Grealish is just a wonderful player. I mean, whether you like him or not, for some of his diving sometimes, not so much of a diver anymore, but what a player. He can hurt us, can't he? Massively can hurt us.
Yeah, there's no doubt. Obviously, he's the standout player for them. And yeah, like you say,
there's a couple of players that were linked with us as well. That's those sort of players usually score against us. Watkins and Matty Cash.
Yeah, Watkins as well. Obviously, he's having a brilliant season.
Yeah, fantastic season, mate.
So it's they're like I say, I think they're very similar to us. Very similar to us. A couple of standout players, up and down results. It's going to be a good game.
The question I ask you, mate, about this game is: are you going to be going for this man, or we know he's fit again? Is he coming back?
It's a difficult one. I don't think. I personally, and I say this all the time. I say this every week. I want to see them play together, but Moyes doesn't seem to be one to change a winning team. Antonio came in, did really well, and kept his place. And now I think that since Antonio's been out, I'm not saying I necessarily agree with this. I think our system's built around Antonio, so Antonio should probably be starting. But I think the place now is Haller's to lose. Do you know what I mean?
Derek put this up really earlier in the day. He said, would you change your winning team, bring Antonio on for the last 20 minutes, would scare Villa's defence? I think maybe that's some way to ease him back in. And I think, as you say, mate, Moyes seems to be quite loyal with that. If you've gone and scored and you've sort of proved yourself a little bit, I think Haller will start, because I think Haller will just kick off otherwise.
I mean, that's the thing, I think Haller should start. Like I say, I would play them together. But I think that's the best shout. Play Haller from the start. See how he gets on. Antonio could come off the bench. And if Haller doesn't have a good game, then the next game you start Antonio. But I don't think, like you say, you shouldn't really change your winning team. And dropping him after scoring would be...
And it was a good goal as well, wasn't it?
If you drop him after that, it will finish him.
What about... because you were sort of giving him a little bit of grief, Bowen or Fornells. Rama starting for you? He won't start. We know he's not going to start. If you were David Moyes,
if I was David Moyes, I would be looking to change it up, mate. I would be looking to play Antonio and Haller together. I'd be looking to get Benrahma involved. It's difficult. It is difficult, mate, because it is how do you fit them all in, who do you drop? As much as
there's questions for Lanzini as well, mate.
Yeah.
He does look good. He's come on, sparky.
Yeah, exactly. You've got Lanzini, you've got Benrahma. You've got players there that you need to try and fit into the team. And like I say, who makes way for them? The only players really that you can make way for those two would be Fornells and Bowen.
And it'd be harsh, wouldn't it?
Yeah, and then like I say, if you want to get Antonio and Haller in together, then you have to drop another one. It's difficult. It is difficult.
Tommy says there, this whole notion of not changing a winning team is rubbish. Play the team you think who you're playing. Yeah, it's true.
I agree with that in principle. I really do. I think that's the way that it should be done, but it's not the way it is done. And it's not the way Moyes seems to do things. So
Neil says, I watched Villa and Brighton the other week. I'd be more worried about Brighton. Obviously, they got their draw against Liverpool yesterday, didn't they? That's a good little team at the minute. Irish Tommy says, has to be Antonio given his form. But the only thing I will say, the Antonio thing is there's a lot of games now coming up over Christmas. You play like 2 games every couple of days. So we've got to keep him fit for that Christmas period, because if we do come out of this Villa game and then we have a really good run over Christmas, you can very quickly mass like 20. You can be on 25 points thinking, oh, bloody hell, actually, the Champions League train might come out. It's a tough one, isn't it? What are your predictions for the game, mate? I think it's classic 1-1, 2-2.
Yeah, I was going to say 2-2, mate. I'd love us to really go for it and to win and to give us that kick on up the table. But I think a draw. I think a draw.
Are you still? Here's a question for you. Are you of the mentality? Because we're West Ham fans. Are you of the mentality of due a loss, or this one's the next test? That's the sort of conversation that keeps coming out at the minute. Is the next one's a test? The next one's a test. Liverpool was a test. Man City was a test. Fulham was a test. Sheffield United's a test. Where are you at this moment as a West Ham fan?
Every game is a test, mate. Every game in this league is a test. I don't know. I don't think the whole due a loss thing. I don't know. Like anyone who's been watching this channel for any amount of time knows, I'm a real sort of optimistic person. I always think the way that my week goes is at the start of the week. I think, we're rubbish. Usually, just after the game, I think, that's it. We're rubbish. We're never going to win again. We're going to lose every game for the rest of the season. We're not even going to score. And then as it gets closer to the match, I start thinking, actually, we could be in this. Yeah, we could do something. And then by the day of the game, I think that's it. We're going to win 5-0. So that's just sort of the way my week goes for West Ham. But no, I think at the moment, I don't want to get on to this again because I got stick for it last week, but I haven't got massive confidence in David Moyes. So I'm not really going in thinking, we're definitely going to win any game at the minute. So I don't know. I'm sitting on the fence, mate. I'm going to say a draw.
Yeah, no, I think it's going to be a draw, and I wouldn't be disappointed with a draw either. Let me put that out there. I wouldn't be disappointed with a draw. And then obviously we're going to the Man United game, which me and Paul will discuss in midweek. We are going to sort of half go back to midweek podcast if we can, and then try to do reactions after the games if we got time, if time permits. Right, like I say, mate, I'm not going to keep you too long. So next thing, I told you to have a little discussion about, mate, because we're about 10 games in. And I thought we'd do it because I see a couple of channels have a little go at it. Team of the season so far in the Premier League. It was really hard actually to do a team because certain positions I didn't really know, so I had to sort of mash it together. And there were so many players that I left out.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what I will ask you though: does any West Ham players make yours?
Yes, and it's the same one who's in yours. Yeah, and it's going to be Ogbonna. Ogbonna's the only one, and the only reason is, like you say, when I was looking at it as well, I've got like 4 left wingers in the team, so I've got players.
So many strikers. I'm looking.
Yeah, I've got people playing out of position and stuff. Yeah. It was difficult to do the defenders because you sort of look at it and you think, well. So I ended up actually having a look to see what defenders have the highest match ratings and like who's had the most, tackles and interceptions and stuff to get it that way. Defense was a bit more difficult. Goalkeeper even more difficult. Although
I went Mendy purely because he's come in,
changed that team,
and he's changed the team. He's given confidence. So Mendy for me. Yeah.
I agree with that. I think if it wasn't for that fact, it'd be very difficult to pick a goalkeeper.
Yeah, I agree.
But I agree with Mendy because of that, because he has come in and changed that team. But do you want to go through, mate? I just so you know, when I picked my team there, I did a 4-3-3 with a cam and 2 centre mids.
Okay. I'll go my right back. My right back, I went with Lampetti. I think that's how you pronounce it, Lampetti. He seems to be really good. Probably one of the best ones outside the top 6. I was looking at the other teams. It's like Trent hasn't sort of set it alight this year. Walker's been better at centre back this year.
I went for Cancelo for City.
Good shout.
That's who I went for. Again, right back was a really difficult one for me, and that was another one that I just picked that purely on the statistics. I can't say I've watched. I haven't actually watched much of Man City this season, but I picked him based purely on the stats. But that was a difficult position for me to pick out as well, the right back. But I picked Cancelo.
I'm just going to say that anyone in the comments, I've seen a few comments there, we are going to jump back in before we end the show, as we always do. So then we've got Ogbonna, obviously, for the centre-backs. For me, the other centre-back next to him, mate, is Thiago Silva. Started wobbly. Now you can see, this guy's one of the best defenders of our generation. The Chelsea fan I work with said he's magnificent. All the pundits, you can see he's clever, he's wily. Who was your other centre-back, mate?
My other centre-back was Chelsea as well. I went for Kurt Zouma.
Oh, well.
Kurt Zuma, again, looking at it, scored a couple of goals. And that just puts him up there. I'll be honest with you, though, for me, picking out the defenders, the only ones that really, obviously, are Bonner, because we watch him every week. Like I say, I can't say I've watched really much of Chelsea. But the only ones for me that were there were real standout options was obviously Ogbonna as centre back, and then the left backs I think were there's a couple of good left backs.
Yeah, there's some really good left back. My left back was Reguilón, the Tottenham bloke, purely because of how good he played against us. I thought he was magnificent against us, and he's really given some dynamic down that left-hand side.
Yeah.
Could have had Chilwell.
I went for Lucas Digne.
Lucas Digne, who's been brilliant, a couple of informs this season. We're really good for left backs though in the Premier League. Some fantastic left backs in the Prem. Right, my midfield, I've cheated a little bit. I've gone 4-4-2, but there's like strikers playing on left wing.
Well, I've got a striker at cam and a left wing at centre mid. But
all right, we'll do the centre mid first then. So my first centre midfielder is Fofana for Leicester.
Oh.
I think he's been strong. Again, he's sort of added some dynamic to their team. We were linked with him as well, weren't he? What sign he would have been for us. For me, he's my first one. And my other one was James Rodriguez. I think he's come in, done well. He looks like he ticks that team over. It would have been Thiago if he wouldn't have got injured, because the little snippets I've seen of Thiago have been fantastic. But yeah, James Rodriguez
James made my bench. My two were Bruno Fernandes. He's been
I can't stand
fantastic.
He's been stand him.
I can't stand him.
Good player, but I can't stand him.
But he's been incredible this season, and he's carried Man United. He's carried Man United. So 100% he had to go in there for me. And my other one was a cheat because he's not really a centre midfielder, but I had to fit him in. Was Diego Jota.
I haven't even put him in.
I had to get him in.
Oh, he has to go. I
had to get him in. So I put him in at centre mid as a bit of a cheat.
He's on fire, mate. What is it? 9 goals in 8 games or something like that.
Yeah,
ridiculous.
And how many off the bench? And
they're
brilliant.
not penalties. They're not penalties either. Yeah. Right. So my left and right.
What about? Did you just have two? I've got a cam as well.
4-4-2. So go on. Give us your cam first.
So my cam again. He'll be in your team, I'm sure. I just had to fit him in. He's Harry Kane.
He's my striker. Striker, Harry Kane. Yeah, Harry Kane has to go in. I hate the geezer. There's no denying he's the best striker in the Premier League. Link-up plays incredible.
That's why I put him in at cam, because he's like top assists this season. He's got like 9 assists.
It's ridiculous, mate. Ridiculous.
Yeah, mad, absolute mad. He's having an incredible season, unfortunately.
Yeah, I know. I will be cheering on Chelsea today. It hurts to say it, but I will be cheering Chelsea on. My left and right, because obviously mine was slightly different. I've gone Grealish on the right. I know he's not right. He's technically left. And then Son was my left-sided midfielder.
Was exactly the same, mate. Exactly the same. Grealish on the right, Son on the left. Yeah, exactly the same.
Son's incredible. One of the best players in the league by far. Could probably go and play for Barcelona or Real Madrid.
One of the best players in Europe, mate. It's just a shame he's so dirty. It's a shame. He's another one like. It's so frustrating to watch because his ability is phenomenal. He's easily one of the best players in the league. He's one of the best players in Europe. But it's like Salah, he dives all the time, and
it spoils it a little bit. Yeah,
it does. It spoils it a bit. I don't like to see that, but you can't deny the ability. Incredible player.
Yeah. And obviously, like Jack Grealish, we've already discussed. He's had a great season, come through international as well. My other striker was it was really tough because it was like Timo Werner's set it alight. He looks fantastic. Just edging him for me because of the early season form was Calvert-Lewin. Yeah,
he's my striker.
Yeah,
he's my striker. Still, I'm pretty sure he's still top goal scorer in the season.
I think so, just about.
10 goals. He was my striker as well. Like you say, mate, form sort of faded away a little bit. But he's again. What a season he's having! What a season. I don't think you can really put, like you say, Werner's a shout. Werner did make my bench. I'll just show you like my bench. Who did I have on the bench? I had Chilwell, Rodriguez, Werner, Mahrez made my bench. He's having a good season.
Any other West Ham players? Would you have put?
I'd say
Rice had a shot.
I was going to say, yeah, I did see a comment there saying that Rice would go in 100%. Yeah, he would make my bench. Doesn't make the team. I don't think he's been better than the likes
What about
of,
Antonio? Antonio.
If he hadn't got injured
He kept scoring, then
and kept scoring, then he'd be in with a shout. But even then, can you really put him in front of Calvert-Lewin, Kane?
Yeah.
No, you can't. So,
one other question then, mate, before we go into the comments. Your manager of the season so far, it's going to hurt me to say this, it's going to be Jose Mourinho. Hate the geezer, but can't deny it. He's turned him into a nasty, horrible team.
I don't know.
Played quite nice football as well.
It's difficult. I can't stand Mourinho. I really can't stand him. Is it Mourinho or is it just the performances of Kane and Son that's carrying that team?
Yeah.
It's a really difficult one, actually, manager of the season. I don't know. I don't know. It's difficult.
I think there's an argument for the Aston Villa manager as well. They've had a good start. Southampton have had a decent start. Brendan Rodgers at Leicester as well. Start.
Yeah, I'm just looking there. Yeah,
won't be saying Fat Frank.
I would say I just got the table up there. If you looked at the table, I would say who's the Southampton manager?
I can't remember his name. Is it a German bloke? I think it's a German bloke.
Oh, it's Hassan Hull.
Yeah, Hassan Hull.
Ralph Hassan Hull.
Yeah, they've had a good season. Very good season.
Yeah, I would say just purely looking at the table and teams that are up there that you wouldn't expect to be, you'd have to say for me it'd be there. And I wouldn't allow myself to say Mourinho or Lampard or anyone like that.
Right, let's jump in the comments to end off this show. 15. Guys, have you seen the Sif Campidia Maradona movie? It's brilliant. Must say, he's still the most talented footballer I've ever seen. He did it with Napoli, side avoiding relegation in the best league. And it goes on, just 2 seconds, mate, before we comment. Equivalent would be Messi coming to Premier League, winning titles with the likes of West Brom. Yeah, we've not even touched on that, mate. Obviously, for our time, we've all seen the clips, we've all seen the goals, we've all seen the off his tits and all that. Yeah, a legend of the game has gone, mate. And I haven't seen that film. It's a film I'd like to see. But what about you, mate?
Yeah, absolutely. Obviously, had his problems off the pitch, massive sort of drug problems and that. But what a player! Arguably the best player that's ever lived. For me, and I always say this, for me, Messi is the best player of all time. But Messi is like the Maradona finish. Messi came along. Do you know what I mean? The thing that gets me with Maradona, when you watch, obviously, like I say, mate, before our time, but when you watch clips, the way that he was playing football in like the late 70s and the early 80s was so different to what everyone else was doing.
Oh, yeah, yeah. And, mate, you've got to think of what the pitches were as well.
Yeah.
On them pitches.
The pitches, the balls, wherever you are.
Lumps at you. You know what I mean? Like, they weren't the yellow cards for, like, silly fouls back then.
Yeah. The way that he carried the ball and the skills and the technique was so unlike anything else at the time. Incredible
World Cup, and that's what I always say, mate. Do you know what I mean? Like, I like Messi, but I always say I'm a Ronaldo fan more. But I think for him, he won the World Cup. I don't know did he win Serie A with Napoli? Did they win Serie A with him? They must have. I assume that's what he's sort of getting at. He definitely won a UEFA Cup with him. So, and you look around that Argentina team, and a lot of pundits say that Argentina team was so bad. He was just so good. Just give me the ball, go on, I'll run around 20 players. But sad loss. A sad loss. I think Fornals and Bowen were starting to look a bit tired in the last couple of games. So the extra 2 days rest will do them good. Hopefully they'll be better against Villa. Definitely, that's the one criticism I do have of Moyes, actually, mate. I know I've been sort of only a smoke up for him for a while, but he does seem to burn players out to the last legs. Yeah. And that might cause the injuries eventually. Europe, GSB would hate us fans for Europe. As I said, Bonner and Rice make his Premier League Team of the Year so far. Great kit, that, Paul. When Paul got that kit, we was discussing it, and I said, home kit of that year. Probably that kit as well, actually. They definitely make my top 5 West Ham kits. Their feeder kits are amazing, mate.
I would say there's a shout that this is probably my all-time favourite West Ham shirt. I love this top.
A lot of memories in that top. There's a lot of memories.
Yeah, it's definitely top 3. Probably my favourite. I'm a sucker for a white away shirt. Always love the white away shirts.
Top reminds me of Paolo One-Chop, that top, actually.
Oh, yeah?
A bit like Paolo One-Chop wearing it. I remember him scoring like a couple of goals against Derby and doing the Paolo One-Chopio. I mean, that's what that shirt. And then the blue one, I think it was the season after, is obviously reminds me of the Man United win. I think that's what it is with them feeder kits. You've got the Di Canio goal, the Man United win. There's so many great. We was a good team then as well. There's some great players that have worn them feeder shirts. Joe Cole, Sinclair. We've discussed it so many times. If you had to do Mount Rushmore of English athletes, great question. So the 4 greatest English athletes of all time, who would you say? Only rule is you can't choose more than one per sport. Question. Well, okay. Boxer has to go in there for me. Who? Like, there's some absolute. Like, if it was me personal one, it would be Nigel Benn on there. But Nigel Benn wouldn't be.
Realistically,
it's Joe Calzaghe for me. He has the best ish.
Well, he's not English.
It's Lewis. Well, he's Welsh, isn't he? Yes.
Lewis probably.
Is he undisputed? Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I suppose you've got to put Lewis Hamilton in there.
It's a good shout.
No, equaling Michael Schumacher last week.
Interesting, isn't it? Obviously, to drive a Formula One car, you have to be immensely fit. But it's interesting to think of that a driver as an athlete.
Yeah,
I would say like a sportsman. But
oh yeah, go on, mate. Yeah, for me, like someone like, because he's a hero of mine, would be Ronnie O'Sullivan would go in there. But then people would go, "It's not a sport.
It's a sport, but it's not an athlete."
Yeah. He's a really fit guy. He's a really fit guy, though. He does all marathons, doesn't he? But
running around the snooker table, yeah.
But like for sporting, for me, Ronnie would go in there. But yeah, he wouldn't go in there as a thingy.
What about likes of I'm just thinking sort of modern times, like someone like Mo Farah.
Yeah, that's a great shout. He's a great Jessica Ennis.
Yeah.
Well,
brilliant stuff.
About footballers, would you be putting Bex or someone like that in there? As influential. His influence as an Englishman in the game.
Yeah, if you were going on, like you say, on influence, then Beckham is up there.
If I'll tell you what, if you wanted to go for like a real, he's not obscure, but like you've got to be looking at Chris Oyers, Steve Redgraves, like legends. Like 6-7 winners medals. Olympics. Andy Murray, he's Scottish, but like British. I'm thinking. Anyone else, mate? Anyone else that really like inspires you, sports wise?
Not really that I can think of. No one sort of jumps to mind.
For me, whoever wins Anthony Joshua Tyson Fury fight, it's a place on that mountain. For me. No, they would be arguably one of the best heavyweights of all time then, if they were to, whoever wins that game. Yeah, that's a great question. That is a fantastic question. Mark says, I heard some late mail that Moyes watches these videos for Paul comments. Really fires him up.
That's what I do. So. That's just for you, Dave.
Alan, Kent says Alan would make his team. Gaza Grealish. Has to be Kane and Calvert-Lewin up front. I'd rather have Son than Kane. Kane has the most assists so far this season. Oh, shout. Bielsa for me. Or Moyes love watching Leeds. Bielsa's good shout. Leeds ain't done too badly, have they? Henderson.
That's Hessen Hull.
442. Tommy says Mendy, Walker, Fofana, Oggy, Grealish, De Bruyne, Rodriguez, Son, Kane, and Calvert-Lewin. Twice. Napoli won Serie A plus record transfer fee at the time. So, away to Man United, one chop away in the white kit. We lost 6-1. Do you remember that? Billy Thompson for him. The Eagle. Whilst Napoli, Maradona won a Serie A, the UEFA Cup, Italian Super Cup. Napoli won 2 domestic cups in their history prior to this. Yeah, he's a fantastic player. Viv Anderson, first black player to win the England cap. Yep. Fatma Webbread and Fury all day long. One other question I do have, mate, just to finish it off, it just come back in the head that I wanted to ask you about. So Felipe Anderson, apparently, not fancied in Porto now. We don't want him back. What do you see for the future for him, mate?
It's difficult, isn't it, mate? If he can't do it in Portugal, I don't know where he goes next. I really don't. Maybe he goes back to Italy.
You think he's finished at West Ham? Do you think you think he might? David Moyes may say can have another pre-season.
I don't think so, mate. Not with if we keep Benrahma, then I don't see where Felipe Anderson fits in. So no, I don't. I can't see him having a future at West Ham. It's a shame. Good player on his day, but yeah, it's obviously all gone wrong somewhere. And like I say, whether he goes back to Italy, tries again, I don't know. But it don't look good for him. It's
a shame. It is a shame, mate, because there was a player in there. There was a real good player in there. I don't know what's happened to him. Big shame. I think we'll leave it there, mate. Again, a few more comments just come in there. Would you either give Benrahma? Would either of you give Benrahma his full debut tomorrow? Yes, I would. Listen, I said it on Gonzo's channel. I've been saying it on here all summer. He's the one player I wanted. We've got him. I want to see him play. Del Anderson, ASAP cut losses. Club success and no fans allowed the same him. The usual dogfight for a season with fans. Well, that's a good question. I want club success, obviously. We don't get to go over there anyway, so he'll probably
for me, I don't get over there anyway because I'd have to get a plane. So for me, it'd be club success, but no, it does. It does sort of ruin it, the no fans thing. You
want to see the fans when the Lanzini goal went in and all that.
Exactly. Things like that. And for the players as well, you want the fans back in the stadium for the players.
Yeah. Shame about Anderson. All the ability in the world, just don't enough for me. Sorry, mate. One other thing. I know you're really ill, and I just wanted to say one thing because I remember you said it. You told me you read something about the takeover. Apparently, it's fallen through. Again, you're not an in the know, and please don't slag him off on Twitter. He's not an in the know. Okay,
I'm in the know. I know everything, guys.
Yeah,
it was me. I'll put the bid in.
But yeah, just tell people what you did read, mate. What stuff you've read, and then we'll sort of that'd be it then. Yeah,
no, basically just the last that I saw was that pretty much a price and everything was agreed. It was Tony Cottee heading up the consortium to buy the club. And essentially, because this season is going better than most people expected it to, Sullivan decided to up the price. And the people that were bidding said no and walked away. Apparently, if they're still there, if Sullivan brings the price down, they're still there. But from the sounds of things, it seems like Sullivan's now going to just try and hold out. I think it was different at the start of the season when everyone thought, especially when you see the opening run of games, everyone thinks we're going to get relegated. Sullivan was probably twitching, thinking, I'll sell up, take the money. But now it looks like we're going to be safe. I think he's just going to try and hold on, like I say, apparently up the price. But yeah, that's what it sounds like. It was Tony Cottee and that consortium. Apparently they had £150 million put aside for players. Long-term plans were to buy the stadium and to make improvements to match that experience. That sounds really good.
Yeah, it does, mate. It's not
unfortunately, not yet anyway. It's a shame.
Yeah, just interesting bit of news, mate. I thought that'd be nice for you to share that. Anyway, guys, thank you so much. Thank you to all the new subscribers. Please keep sharing. Like I say, all the graphics will come back now because I finally got a bit of money to be able to pay for it. But yeah, thanks again. Thanks to Paul. We'll see you in the week, probably Wednesday or something like that. We'll let you know. Until then, guys, on your irons, keep believing. Let's go.